Your stage performance is bad because your recording was bad, and here's how I can tell. Number one, you left yourself no room to breathe. The way that I can tell that somebody did not think past the recording studio part of doing a song is that they are often overlapping everything that they've recorded, and they're not leaving any pockets for them to have an opportunity to breathe. When you're on stage, if I see that you're out of breath and your lines are all over the place and they're overlapping, I can tell that in the studio you didn't leave any place for yourself to breathe, and you didn't even think about pockets of space for breathing that you would need on stage. That brings me directly to the second point: is you never thought past the recording stage. A mistake that a lot of artists make when they're coming into the studio to record a song is they never think past the studio session itself. So they're only thinking, I'm trying to record this here and now just to get it done, but they're not thinking about how is this going to translate on stage? How might this translate to advertisers? If I wanted to get this placed in a movie or a video game or a TV show or something like that, does this song fit? Does it command a certain vibe? Am I presenting it a certain way? Unfortunately, a lot of newer artists are only worried about getting past the recording process. They don't look past how it is going to be presented to the world. Now, if you are not the type of artist who is sharing your music with the world and distributing it, and you don't want people to listen to it, by all means, do whatever you want to. But for the people who are looking to gain that recognition and who are looking to share their art and their music with the world, there are certain factors that you need to keep in mind when you're recording. It doesn't just stop in the studio. It goes way beyond that. Naturally, one of the next steps is to perform the song, because that is one of the best ways to get directly in front of an audience, to have that personal connection, and to get people to connect with what you're saying in your music. But if you never think that you're going that far as an artist, of course you're not going to record your song a certain way. The third way I can tell that you recorded a song badly is if your subject matter is all over the place. Again, another common mistake that newer artists make is they have seen their favorite artists, and their favorite artists might have said at one point that they are freestyling. But newer artists completely skip over the fact that some of their favorites have been writing for 10, 15, 20 years, and then they transitioned into freestyling or doing things off the dome, as a lot of people would know it today. The problem with a newer artist is you simply don't have the chops, you don't have the repertoire, you don't have the vocabulary, you don't have the know-how and the reps and the practice to understand how to write something and keep the topics cohesive and keep the subject matter in a storytelling kind of format. What is so important about writing a song is that you are sharing an experience, you are telling a story, and you are putting into words something that happened in your everyday life or something that you observed in the world. So you have to be able to know how to communicate those feelings, communicate what has happened, communicate what you observed. If you're not able to do that, or if your subject matter is all over the place because you didn't even approach your song with intention and you did not have anything in mind for the emotion that you wanted to present or the topic that you wanted to speak on, audiences can tell that. I think the only type of song that this works with is if it's like a party record or like a pop my ish type of record where its personality, it's meant to be cocky and confident and arrogant. I think that is really the only time when it really works. But you can only get away with those kinds of songs for so long before the audience that has connected with you, they want to start to hear something deeper from you. So that is something that you should consider when you are recording your music. What is the tone? What is the point? What is the purpose? What is the story? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to get across to your audience? The fourth way that I know your recording is bad and therefore your stage presence is affected is because I can tell when you rushed through the recording process. Another common mistake that I see, especially with newer artists, is you are new to the studio, so of course you don't really have any idea of how long it might take to record a record. And with singers especially, a lot of times newer artists will think that you can just walk into a studio and you'll be done with a song within 20 minutes because you sang it straight through when you were at home. But when you're in a studio, this is your opportunity to get the exact performance and feeling and vibe that you want. Now, I do understand that as a new artist, as an independent artist, recording is an expensive process. And so I understand that pressure that artists feel when they only booked 2 hours, but they have 5 songs that they want to get through. And so you're trying to rush through everything that you have because you want to make the most out of your money. You want the biggest bang for your buck. But that's not exactly how music works. When you're coming to the studio, you must keep in mind that you want to capture the best performance that you can, no matter how long it's going to take. There are no rules to this, and there is a little bit of gray area and wiggle room where compromise can live. But for the most part, you should always approach recording your music as if this is something that someone is going to hear from you for the very first time. And are you going to represent yourself well in this audio space? If you're not willing to do that, then by all means, just go ahead and go through the motions of recording the song. There is a place for that as well. If you're just trying to get familiar with recording in the studio, then okay, I understand. You don't necessarily need to go deep with it. If this is an instance where you just wanted to hear how it sounded because this is going to be your demo, then all right, you can ignore this advice as well. But if this is something that you are presenting to the world and you are putting yourself out there and you're showing your art, then we can tell if you did not take time with the recording process. Everything that you do within music, while it doesn't have to always be serious, you should approach it with some form of intention. Again, I have to reiterate, how am I feeling? What do I want to tell people? What story am I telling? What's the purpose of this song? Who am I talking to? In general, you want to keep those things in mind when you are approaching your songwriting process, because the way that you approach it before you get to the studio, that's the energy and that's the vibe that's going to bleed into the track. And you want to make sure that it's something that is well represented of you as an artist. If this helped you, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And in the comment section down below, let me know what topic you want me to talk about next. My name is LexC. Stay tuned for the next LexChat, but until then, peace.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
She just trying to get her skims on. Yeah. My Kardashian in the hundreds when she called me, get my Kim on. For real. The way I'm dunking in that donut, hold up, I'ma get my Tim on. Carpooling, Golden State Wizard, I'ma get my swim on. For real. Yo, hey, check it. When I pressure, it's pressure, never the lesser. My laboratory, it got more shit than Dexter. A harpoon through my heart soon, and I can hardly hear my thoughts, they say my cartoon. I don't